With the release of so many new smartphones, previous generations are getting cheaper and cheaper every year. In this video, I'll be telling you whether I think the iPhone 8 Plus is still worth it in 2021, and hopefully I'll help you make a decision by the end of this video. Hey guys, Paul here, back with another video, and I've been using the iPhone 8 Plus, and I've been using this phone as my daily driver for the past year and a half. And today I just wanted to tell you if it's a suitable smartphone for this day and age, or if you should just consider an entirely other smartphone. Starting things off with the design, although the iPhone 8 Plus still has an older, more traditional iPhone design with the thicker bezels around the screen, it's still a super premium quality and nice looking build. It has aluminum all over the edges and it has a glass back. And the glass back actually serves a purpose, although it does decrease durability for the phone, as if you drop it, you're more likely to shatter the back, so you have another thing to worry about. But on the flip side, you do get wireless charging. On the other hand though, you could see this as sort of not a downside, I guess, just because all of the other newer iPhones, if you're considering them, also have a glass back. So unless you're considering another phone like an Android phone or something, so that might not necessarily be a bad thing. The reason for having a glass back is so that it could support Qi wireless charging, which is really nice, as you could use it with a bunch of different wireless chargers and sort of just customize things the way you like it. I do not personally own a wireless charger, but I should probably get one soon just to sort of see how it is, but I'm sure it works great on this phone. Moving on to the performance side of things, the iPhone 8 Plus features a 5.5-inch Retina IPS display, and it's actually a really nice display. It has really good viewing angles because of that IPS technology, and also the colors are really nice. I just recently switched to an iPhone 11, which I'll be making a video about later in a few weeks. So even though I was really happy that I was switching to a new phone, the one thing inside of me that I wish I could have carried over from the 8 Plus was its display, because the iPhone 11 and the iPhone SE and the iPhone XR, a lot of those have a sub 1080p display, and that is one thing that I really miss about the iPhone 8 Plus. That was just really nice to have. Also, another thing that the iPhone 8 Plus that the newer iPhones actually lack is 3D Touch. Now, 3D Touch isn't really that big of a deal anymore just because Apple replaced it with haptic touch on the newer iPhones, but in case you want to get those quick shortcuts a little bit faster, then 3D Touch is a great option. It's sort of just a little bonus. I wouldn't say this is like a main selling point, but I mean, it doesn't hurt, right? Even after about 3.5 years since this iPhone came out, the performance is actually still really good. For web browsing, consuming media, going on Instagram, everything performs really well. Now, sometimes Snapchat may crash here and then. I don't know if that's a specific build of Snapchat on my phone, or if that has something to do with on the software side. And also sometimes if you put like a really heavy filter on Snapchat, it might slow things down, it might be a little bit laggy, but everything is 100% usable and works fine from my experience. So performance wise, it's still a good phone. Taking a look at the back of the phone, it has a 12 megapixel dual camera, with one being a wide lens camera and one being a telephoto lens. Now, the wide lens has a f1.8 aperture, meaning that you can get some nice blurred out backgrounds, and also allows you to shoot better in lower light. Now, on the other hand, the 2x telephoto lens has a f2.8 aperture. To be honest though, the quality of the telephoto lens isn't the best in my opinion from what I've seen. And also there have been previous reports in the past that sometimes the camera actually might switch over to the main camera if it's in lower light, so that I could take advantage of that f1.8 aperture, and then in the end it almost turns out like a very similar image quality. So I wouldn't say that this is a major selling point, but if you are into a lot of telephoto super zoomed in pictures, then this might be an option for you. But at the same time, I don't think that this actually makes that huge of a difference, at least from my opinion and from what I've heard from other people before. So take that with a grain of salt though. In terms of the main camera though, I think that is still a pretty good camera for today's day and age. But I will say that I think that the iPhone XR and the iPhone 11s and all of those phones are significantly better when it comes to image quality, just from the amount of detail and whatnot. And same thing goes with the front-facing camera. The front-facing camera is able to capture more detailed pictures. Taking a look towards the bottom of the phone, you'll find a lightning connector and the speakers. Now, in terms of the speakers and the sound that it produces, it's actually really good for this phone. In my opinion, I think this is definitely one of the better speakers on the market. It produces like a nice full sound, and also it has clear audio, and not only that, but also produces a nice bass. So it's not the best speaker, but for a phone, it's actually a really nice speaker in my opinion. Finally, the last thing you're probably wondering about is the battery and how it is on this phone. Now, keep in mind that I use my phone a lot, so my usage is probably going to be a little bit above average to say the least. And I have an 84% maximum capacity on this battery. And when I got it, I think it was around like 87. and when it was in that range, it was actually pretty good and it lasted me usually throughout the whole day. Nowadays, I was needing to charge it like once or twice a day maybe, but again, I use my phone a lot, so that's probably one of the factors too. But overall, I'd still say that the battery is pretty good. So after taking a look at everything the iPhone 8 Plus has to offer, is it still worth it in 2021? So I think that this is a yes and no answer. So yes, I think that this phone is still worth it, especially if you're getting it for a more reasonable price. If you're able to get it with a higher maximum capacity for the battery, then yes, by all means go for this phone. The only thing to consider though is that Apple is probably going to discontinue software updates soon, at least in the next few years. And so getting a newer phone is going to ensure you that you're going to get more software updates. If you're taking a look at this phone, probably one of your options is an iPhone SE currently. And I think that's an amazing phone. I have a few friends that have it and all of them really like it. The only thing about it is that it has a sub 1080p display, which the iPhone 8 Plus has. It has a smaller display, so if you're someone that really likes larger phones, then the iPhone 8 Plus is probably for you. And then also, not only that, it lacks just some of the features, and it actually has the same camera system, as far as I know, as the iPhone 8 Plus and the iPhone 8 in general. So those are a few things to consider. If you don't really care if the phone is larger and has that nice 5.5-inch display, then I think you should go with the iPhone SE just because that's going to be better in the long term. But like I said, if you could get a good price on the iPhone 8 Plus and you like larger phones, then I'd say go for the iPhone 8 Plus just because it has a nice display, still has a pretty good camera, and also the performance is still pretty good. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up. And let me know if you guys have any questions about the iPhone 8 Plus in the comments below, and I'd be happy to answer them. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you thought of it in the comments below and give me some feedback. I'd really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.